Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're tackling a huge topic, how artificial intelligence is going to completely change our justice system. And I mean everything, from how a courthouse operates all the way to the very definition of law itself.
So our journey into the future of justice is really broken down into three big phases of AI development. You've got the assistant, then the partner, and finally, the system. Each one is a massive leap from the last and is going to have a totally different impact on how justice is served. Okay, let's get into it.
All right, first up, we've got the AI that's already here and evolving like crazy, artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI. This is the stuff that's making the whole legal system faster and way more efficient, and this phase will probably define things up to around 2030.
You can think of AI as the ultimate paralegal. Seriously. It's an absolute master at specific, repetitive tasks, and it's just crushing the information bottlenecks that have bogged down the legal system for, well, forever. We're talking about jobs that used to take teams of people weeks to finish, like sifting through evidence, now getting done in minutes.
And the impact? It is absolutely staggering. We are looking at a potential 90% drop in the time it takes to do some of the most intensive legal work. But this isn't just about speed. It's about freeing up the actual human lawyers and judges to focus on things like strategy and the human side of a case.
This chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows the full scale of the change. We're moving from a system that's all manual, based on gut feelings and experience, to one that's driven by data and is super optimized. I mean, every single part of the process is getting a complete makeover.
So here's the most important thing to remember about this first phase. AI is not the judge, not even close. It's an unbelievably powerful tool that prepares all the materials with incredible speed and accuracy. But its job is to empower the human judges, to let them focus on the things only a human can do, understand context, feel empathy, and ultimately find true justice.
Okay, so let's jump ahead to the next big leap, which is projected to start happening around 2030. Now we're talking about artificial general intelligence, or AGI. And this is a whole new ballgame. This isn't just an assistant anymore. This is a true partner that can actually think like a lawyer.
And this is the real game changer. AGI can go beyond just reading the words on a page. It can actually understand the original intent behind a law, what we call the spirit of the law. And that means it can apply old legal ideas to brand new problems, like, say, figuring out who owns what in the metaverse. So what's the real difference in how they think? Well, it's pretty simple when you break it down. ANI is a pattern matching machine. It looks at the past and finds things that are similar. AGI, though, it uses logical reasoning. It can take a legal principle and apply it to a completely new situation to build a solid argument, or even write a draft of a judgment right from scratch. And with abilities like these, AGI totally flips the script on what the legal process is even for. It can piece together what really happened with insane accuracy by looking at all the data. And because of that, the whole thing stops being about winning or losing. Instead, it becomes about finding the most logical, fair solution for everyone. What they call a Pareto optimal solution, where you can't improve one person's situation without making someone else's worse.
So in this new world, you get this amazing partnership. The AGI handles all the perfect, flawless logic, but the human judge, their role becomes even more critical. They provide the conscience, the ethical check, and they're the one who has to take final responsibility for the decision.
All right, now we're going to look way out on the horizon, to around 2040. This is where things get, well, pretty wild. We're talking about artificial superintelligence, or ASI. And at this point, AI isn't just improving the justice system. It could change society so much that the system we know today might not even exist anymore. The whole idea of justice completely flips on its head. We go from a system that reacts and punishes people after they do something wrong to a system that's proactive. It's focused on predictive justice. The goal is to design a society where fights and crimes are just way less likely to happen in the first place, by spotting the warning signs and gently nudging things in a better direction. And this might be the most mind-blowing change of them all, because an AI could settle arguments instantly by looking at all the facts, the entire formal court process, the lawyers, the paperwork, the trials, all of it just becomes pointless. It becomes obsolete. You're probably thinking, how on earth is that even possible? Well, it comes down to a few key things. First, laws become actual code. If a contract is broken, the fix is triggered automatically. Second, with sensors everywhere and data that can't be changed, there's no arguing about what happened. The facts are the facts. And finally, the goal shifts completely away from punishment and towards restoration, fixing the root cause of why someone did something harmful. Justice basically becomes this invisible system that just keeps society in balance.
Okay, so let's pull it all together now. Let's look at the full arc of this transformation across all three phases, and really, what it all means for us, for humanity's role in the world.
This table pretty much sums up the whole story, doesn't it? You can see AI evolving from a simple admin tool to a reasoning partner, and then finally to, the very operating system of society itself. But look at how the human role changes. We go from being the expert to being the ethical judge to finally having the most important job of all, being the ones who define the values that steer the entire system.
So when you boil it all down, that's the narrative we're looking at. We're moving from a system built to clean up messes to one engineered to keep things harmonious from the start. Justice stops feeling like a heavy gavel and starts acting more like a social immune system, just quietly keeping everything healthy.
And that leaves us with one final, and honestly, a massive question for all of us. When AI takes care of all the logic, the ultimate job falls back to us. We have to be the conscience of the system. It's up to us to decide on the ethics and the core values that will guide this unbelievably powerful future. So, what are we going to choose?